I'm not. I'm one for. I'm not quite sure that it's that time.
No, and again, I think I said it to tease this segment, right? Like there are some Longhorn fans who are already asking for it. Some were asking for it before week 1. I'm saying it's something to monitor over the course of the year. Like
Sure.
at what point, my question, like, okay, if Texas gets back to the semifinal this year, Buck, you and I both said it. We're not going to call it a bad year. You win a couple of playoff games, you get back to the Final Four. You can't.
But if it's your inept ability to help them score because of some of your plays, then yeah, I'd go into year 3 if you got to the semifinals or whatever it is, and you didn't get over the hump because of your play calling, the way you call plays down in the scoring zone. Yeah, I would say maybe he should think about having somebody else as, even if it's the play calling in the scoring zone.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I don't see it right now. I don't think we're at that point.
No, you don't make a decision like that in week 2 of a season. I don't think you make a decision like that at any point in the season. But it's like, okay, what if Texas loses in the first? What if Texas doesn't make the playoff this year? Like, let's go extreme worst case scenario.
Well, then everything's on the table.
Okay. So that's what I'm asking is like, at what point, like what will it take? And at what point is it more of a fair conversation to have about Steve Sarkisian potentially bringing somebody in to help call the plays?
Yeah, well, remember, I'm the guy that thought they'd lose one more game than they did last year. So I'm
okay. Well, they're 10-2. They're making the playoffs, so that's not the extreme. So that's like, if they make the playoff, you keep status quo even if they lose in the first round of the playoff.
Oh no, I'm making change. No, if I lose in the first round of the playoffs, I'm thinking about, there's something that I'm not doing right. I got to be held responsible for a team that's good enough to get into the final game, into the final chapter. Once again, I always say anything can happen in a championship game. Semifinals are nice. I think you're just getting to the hump now. It's been a while, but just get me to the championship, coach. Anything can happen in a championship. You're playing somebody who's pretty good if you're playing in a championship game. But your play calling can't keep being the thing that's screwing it up. It can't be, your quarterback can have a bad day in game 1. He can have a bad day in game 7, but it can't be you in the games that really matter for championship. It can't be your play calling. Something has to give there.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm in favor of Sark calling the plays. I think that's a big reason why Texas went out and hired him in the first place, right? They saw the type of play caller he was for Nick Saban at Alabama. We all watched that 2020 offense just run through every team on their schedule, including Ohio State in that national championship game.
Yeah, he's running into 2 pretty good coordinators right now over the last 2,
Sure.
semifinals. One guy just got a job at a school that's in the same conference and making more money. One guy's been in the NFL. He didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I just think people thought, that, oh no, we'll outthink this dude who's called defenses for the New England Patriots for years and years and years. That was his specialty, not just that little stupid pencil in the back of his ear, but he called some pretty good defenses, and
Sure.
you didn't know what to expect. And you got a first-year quarterback starting. First-time starter at quarterback. They got caught into that, but he can't continue to be the reason in prime situations. He's got to be the reason sometimes they win.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And that's, look, I don't think all of Saturday's on Sark. Clay says, come on, guys, players play, coaches coach, wide open receivers is not Sark's fault, make a play. We talked about it earlier. Like, if Arch Manning plays a B- game, Texas wins. Like,
I would agree. Yeah,
Sark's game plan was good. It wasn't perfect. Don't get me wrong, but his game plan was good enough. There were enough open receivers over the course of that game. The running game was effective enough to where if Arch Manning just doesn't even have to play an A+ kind of game. If he is average, then Texas probably wins on Saturday.
If he just played like you said, if you play a C game, he's going to be just fine in that game.
Yeah, I think so. But look, the reality of the situation is I'm playing devil's advocate here because I think you and I agree. I'm writing it out with Sark right now. I like him as a play caller still. Yes, there are things that need to get better. Obviously, the red zone offense is the thing that continues to grind my gears because we're into year 3 of this right now, and we're really seeing it show up every time Texas plays a good team, and that's unacceptable. I want to ride this thing out. But the reality is Steve Sarkisian now has lost 5 in a row against top 5 opponents. He's 1-6 against top 5 opponents during his career at Texas, and he's 2-12 against top 5 teams all time at Texas. So you're looking for things that can change to make that change. And a lot of people will look at the play call. Hey, maybe Sark is just doing too much on game days. Like, being a head coach at a place like Texas is hard enough. And just being a head coach on a game day, Buck, is hard enough. There's so much going on in such a short amount of time. Like, just focusing on the responsibilities that go in with being a head coach, that's a hell of a lot. So people are saying maybe if we take more off Sark's plate here, then he can be better here, and that would make the results against teams like Ohio State and
Well, I'd
Georgia.
rather make that. I'd rather make that the administrative stuff and not the game day stuff, and focus more on the game day stuff for him, and that's fine with me. But I'm not ready to make that kind of change with him. But at the end of the year, you tell me we get into this situation and they're in a championship game in the SEC, and the same things pop up. Can't get in the end zone from the 5 or 6 yard line, and it's the same silly ass plays or some weird quarterback draw and no motion, and just hand it off to the guy standing beside a guy with no momentum. I will say it's time to start thinking about it. But that guy's not giving up that. Well, you don't give up the money, but I don't know if you give up that responsibility. That's how he feels. Egos still run rampant, no matter what they tell you. And I don't have an ego. I leave it at the door. That's bullshit. You coaching football at this level, you got an ego like nobody's business.
Yeah, Sark will never want to give up the plays. I don't think Ryan Day ever wanted to give up calling plays. I think his hand was almost forced up there.
Well, yeah, he was about to lose his gig.
Yeah, people were so mad about him losing to Michigan over and over again, but because they kept losing that game, they weren't winning the Big Ten. And
well, the same would happen here if you kept losing to Oklahoma or you kept losing to the Aggies. That same kind of pressure would start to come here too.
Oh, for sure. Well, it's starting. It's not that level. I don't think anyone's calling for Steve Sarkisian's job, but people are starting to get annoyed that you keep losing to Ohio State and Georgia. And it's not, 4 in a row. I guess if you combine those teams, it's 4 in a row. Obviously, Ohio State has lost to Michigan 4 consecutive times. But, I don't, I think Ryan Day's got an ego too. I mean, that guy dyes his freaking beard. Got to have an ego to do something like that. He's too embarrassed to have some gray in his beard that he puts Just for Men jet black in there to make it look a little different on game day. But, I think Ryan Day was kind of told that we need you to do something. And that was the something that he did.
Sure.
If Steve Sarkisian is told that, maybe that's the something that he does. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't see CDC being able to get into his business that way quite yet.
No, definitely. Again, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen during the season. If you're calling for it now, you're wasting your breath. They're going to.
Yeah, and once again, Longhorn fans, remember how long it's been. I mean, the last 2 years have been fantastic. And you're getting to the hump now, getting over the hump. That's another thing, but it's not. We're not there yet. I don't believe. But I sure hate to see that happen again in a championship game. I just would. It would just kill me for them to be at the 6 or 7 yard line and have to have a touchdown to go ahead, and then let this defense keep a team from scoring and win a championship. That would be dreadful for Sark.
Well, that was Saturday was like a championship game.
It was. Yeah, it was game one.
Obviously, it's week one. It's week one, so you could say that's ridiculous, but that's the kind of team that you're going to have to play in a championship type of game.
When you play Texas A&M, OU, Georgia, and an opening game like that, those are championship games. That's not just any game.
Right.
And you're lucky it is game one and you have a time to rebound, but you find out what your team really needs to do. Now I think we as fans understand the quarterback's going to get better because it can't get any worse. He's going to get better. The coaching and his style and what he needs to do at certain areas of the field, we've seen that now over a couple of years. That has to get better. The defense, I mean, we've seen what the defense – we know about this defense. They play – we talked about that last week about how good PK's been and how this defense can hold itself up to anybody in the country.
Sure.
First-time starter, veteran quarterback, they're going to be fine.
No one's talking about removing PK as the defensive play caller.
No.
That guy is beloved by Longhorn Nation, and deservedly so. He's done a tremendous job, and obviously his unit did more than enough for Texas to win that game on Saturday. They just didn't get the help from the offense.
Or you just wonder if the head coach has enough in him to say, Hey guys, let me sit down. Let me sit down with Chris Jackson. Let's talk about what we need to do down in the scoring zone. Let's talk to the offensive line coach. I've been with this guy for years and years and years. If there's something I'm not doing, that I'm vetoing what you guys are doing, tell me. Tell me. That's where you have to drop your ego. That's the one where you drop your ego, not the day of the game. You got to be full of ego and just full of yourself on game day. But it's the stuff leading up. What do I need to do, guys? I mean, ask for help.
Yeah. So
I mean, just
Texas,
what is it that you guys see that I'm not seeing?
right. Yeah. Look, Texas ran 8 plays in the red zone on Saturday, right? They got there twice. They turned it over on downs both times. They ran 2 running back runs, but both of them were from the shotgun, Buck. So none of them were under center running back runs, which is something that you've talked about wanting to see more of from the Longhorn offense down there. They ran 4 quarterback runs. Obviously, one of those was the QB sneak on 4th and goal. That didn't work. And then they passed it twice. So 2 handoffs to the running backs, which I know bothers you as a former running back coach. A lot of QB runs. And then the 2 passes. Here's where I'll credit Sark. You cannot blame Sark for the 3rd and 3 and 4th and 3 passing play calls that he called on Texas's second red zone trip in the 4th quarter. Because Arch had guys wide open. One of them was just a horrible throw to Ryan Wingo over the middle. And the other one, Arch made the wrong read. He had Ryan Wingo open over the middle on a slant, and instead he took a corner route shot to Parker Livingston, and that one didn't work. So the 2 pass plays that were called up were fine, but like ultimately the results are the results, and you weren't getting enough on the ground, and you get there twice, you score 0 points in a game, you lose by 7. That's where we're at here.
Certain defenses are just you can run your best stuff down there at the 3 and whatever and get stuffed. There's some of those guys are just better than the guys that you have blocking it. And they push you back into the backfield, they bubble it. There's not a lot of space there. I don't give a crap if you throw the ball 4 times, 3 times. That's fine with me. But
well, go ahead.
Give me the plays that are the good plays that are going to give me rubs or whatever it is, or the tight end in the flat or the running back in the flat. Give me something. Give me some motion.
Yeah, well, that's those pass plays that he called. You saw that, right? The 4th and 3, it was a rub route, right? DeAndre Moore did a great job creating some space for Ryan Wingo, and again, Wingo was kind of open over the middle of the field for a definite first down. That was 4th and 3 from the 9. There's a chance maybe he gets into the end zone too, but yeah, that one's on Arch. Like Arch, he either went through his progressions too fast. I mean, after the game, Stark's like, no, Wingo was the first read there. So either Arch just didn't even read him, or he looked and didn't like what he saw. But that play right there is on Arch. But like again, Ohio State got into the red zone one time. They scored a touchdown. They had a goal to go. They had the exact same thing. 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. They had the exact same thing that you did. They found their way into the end zone, and you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, they had to back slither his way in. Wasn't a great block, just enough. Hey, you only need enough is enough, right? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go in standing up. You just got to go in. Got to get past that line. I know this. They're missing. This is where they miss Blue an awful lot down here, where he gets out there individually in the flat. They really they miss that dude right now.
Oh, they had him last year, and they couldn't score in the red zone. So I don't know if they do miss, not to take a shot at Jaden Blue. I mean, he's a good player.
He did score 2 against Ohio State.
Yeah, outside the red zone. They can score outside the red zone. They can't score inside the red zone. He had two receiving touchdowns from outside of the 20 against Ohio State. So the red zone, again, they were 111th in the country last year in red zone offense. Like that, with all the talent here. Come on, man. How does that happen? How does that happen? They were 89th 2 years ago, 111th last year, and right now they're tied for dead last. One game, of course.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's going to tell you right there. You need to make some changes. I need to listen to somebody.
Yeah. After these next 3 weeks, I would think that they won't be anywhere close to last. But where are they after SEC play when again they're playing?
Yeah, because they'll have a bunch of touchdowns from the 40 in.
Fine. Well, yeah, and they'll get into the red zone and they'll score. I sure as hell hope they'll score against these next 3 opponents.
I do too.
But yeah, that's it's got to get cleaned up. So again, you and I, the overarching, we'll put a bow on this conversation. If you're just joining us and you're wondering what the hell are these guys talking about, there are some Texas fans out there that are asking for Steve Sarkisian to hire an offensive play caller, and it's not going to happen right now. The Buck and I agree it shouldn't happen right now. But again, it's something that may be worth monitoring moving forward. And the Ohio State comparison is a comparison that a lot of people will use. Ryan Day was calling plays in Columbus for a long time. They were very good, obviously. They kept getting close, but they didn't win at all. And last year, going into 2024, Ryan Day brings in Chip Kelly to call the plays. And what does Ohio State do? Well, they go on to win the national championship.
Yeah, because Ryan Day was on his last leg there.
Yeah, it's just
Sark's
crazy.
not quite on his last leg here. He's got
they wanted Ryan Day fired before the playoff.
Yeah, they were after him, and they were having a decent year for them, and that's not decent enough because they kind of felt that things were going to get bad.
They just don't want to lose to Michigan. That game means a lot. It's been a long time since Texas has lost to Texas A&M. I don't think we're going to see it this year, but
I don't either.
You'll see some very pissed off Longhorn fans the next time that happens. And obviously, if somehow, some way the Aggies pull off 4 straight, or Sooners, go with either of them.
That's going to be that'll be enough to get you close to getting out of here. You can't have that.
Then there you go. That's why Ohio State fans feel the way that they did. I don't want to say do. I think they're
the only thing that'll save you from that is getting to a semifinal or a final still.
Yeah.
If you do that, you can't be dropping 4 to eat any one of those two.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that.